Hey everyone, welcome back. This is another video of RealFlight 9 available from Horizon Hobby, and we're gonna just wrapped up a flight with the E-Flight Timber. Now we're gonna go try something a little bit more my style here. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna go try to find one plane that I absolutely would love to have in my hangar. Maybe someday I will, and that is the Hangar 9 P-51 Mustang, complete with D-Day invasion stripes over the wing, olive drab paint scheme, and I think it's even got some hard points hanging down under the wings. And it's got some external fuel tanks and the bright yellow nose of the 375th fighter group. So very cool looking airplane. I love this thing. I would love to have one in my hangar. No different paint schemes are available on this one, which is no problem because this is the scheme that I like the best. So let's go ahead and load this thing up. Hit the OK button. And let's see, is it going to load up? There it is. There is the P-51 Mustang sitting there right on the tarmac, ready to rock and roll, all loaded up. All right, we'll do a control surface check. Not that you can see anything move on the airplane from here, but it's always a good habit to get into is to check the control surfaces before you take off. If you practice doing it with a simulator, you'll be all set to do it in real life when you get out to the flying field. So let's go ahead and pull back on the elevator here, and let's get some throttle going. Slowly advancing the throttle until we get some movement. There we go. Kind of ease off the elevator a little bit. Here we go. Suck those gear up. How about a nice victory roll? Right. Oh wow, that's cool. Yeah, like I said, this is more of the airplane that I love. I mean, I own a Timber, but my heart's always with the Warbirds. You give me a Warbird, I'm a happy guy, I'll tell you that. Let's bring the airplane back a little bit. And tell you what I love about these invasion stripes too is how easy it makes an airplane like this to see. As you can tell, there's not much visible on that airplane except for those white and black bands over the... Woo! There we go, right through the trees. Providing some close air support here, right on the invasion in Normandy. We're going right between the trees with the P-51 Mustang. Now, I've never flown a real the Hangar 9 P-51, so I really can't compare what this is like compared, to the real one. But I tell you what, if the real one flies as awesome as this one does, it's going to be really tough for me to not have one of these inside my hangar. This thing is very cool. And what's great is I'm able to practice this without actually having to buy the airplane. Because it's pretty expensive. The Hangar 9 airplane is expensive. It's balsa. It's probably a little outside my comfort zone. But here I'm able to fly it around, practice with it, and really enjoy the airplane with really no more investment than just the simulator itself. Look at that. Boy, those invasion stripes do look awesome. Let's bring it around. There we go. I love the drop tanks hanging down too. That's just cool. And of course, you could try all sorts of aerobatic moves and without any worry. I'm always afraid to try them at the flying field. There is no worry about trying it here. Let's do a low pass. Let's wind up the throttle nice and low. Victory roll. Roll out. Yeah, aerobatics is not one of my strong suits at all. But I tell you what, with RealFlight 9, this gives me an opportunity to try things that I would probably not have the courage to try out at the flying field. It took me years to work up the courage of flying inverted. And I first tried it on a simulator. I said, man, that's not so bad. Let's get nice and low here. Oh, that's just cool. All right, so let's go ahead and bring it around again. Let's try to land the P-51 here. One thing I did notice on takeoff is you didn't really need nearly as much rudder input as I would have expected to keep the airplane straight. So I don't know if there's ways you can kind of increase the sensitivity to torque or not. Let's do a low pass with the gear down. Here we go. Bring it on in. Well, we're a little hot, so let's just go back around again. It sure does look cool. There's no doubt about it. A lot of guys, everybody wants to try to get into a Warbird right away, and of course it's understandable. I mean, there's just... one of the most beautiful shapes ever created is the P-51 Mustang, but this is not an airplane you want to get out and start with. Even if you're outstanding on the trainer or on the simulator, I mean, you may want to consider a high wing trainer or something like that, like the Apprentice, before moving into something as the Mustang. I know the Apprentice isn't going to look as sexy as the Mustang, but you know what? Most Mustang pilots, their very first flight was not in a Mustang. They were in some sort of a trainer. Let's bring this thing down. There we go. Whoop, little bounce. Well, to quote the movie Battle of Britain, you can teach a monkey to fly better than that. There we go. Oopsie daisies. We got 2 landings for the price of 1. Let's go ahead and bring this thing back over. Man, it's cool. Haha. Yeah. It is awesome. Yeah, that's the, look at that. We can just drop right off into the grass. There we go. Look at the beautiful Hangar 9 P-51. So that's definitely a plane that I remember I mentioned in the unboxing video. That is something I was dying to fly, and there was my first flight with it. I had no idea how it compares to the real one, but if the real one flies like this one, man, I would be absolutely hooked. So this is, because of the number of warbirds that I do have in my collection, I will be flying this airplane quite a bit, because I do want to keep proficient on those. So, all right. I'm going to go dig around the menu and maybe try an EDF or something a little different next. But so far we've flown the Timber, and now we've flown the Hangar 9 P-51. Let's go out and try to find an EDF to fly, which is another plane that I have only one in my hangar, and that's the UMX A10, and that is not in the sim. Let's go take a look.